Hi guys, Scott Speed here, welcoming you to the Volkswagen Beetle GRC car here in iRacing. It is so fun. Wanted to give you guys some pointers around the track here. This is the actual track that we drove in Daytona. It looks unbelievable. When you see the footage from the onboard of the actual track, it's crazy how similar they got it. Give you some tips on the car. First thing you're going to notice is this thing is a 2-liter turbo engine that has over 600 horsepower, and it is geared for acceleration. So you're going to go through the gearbox very quickly. That's the first thing you know. As soon as you leave the pits, you're going to be like, wow. You're just going to have to upshift gears very rapidly. And then you're going to get on the brakes for the first time, and you're going to notice this big momentum shift. The car is going to lean over, it's going to have a ton of weight transfer, and that's because we run really soft springs in this thing to get the traction that you're going to need in the dirt. Once you get through the first corner, you're probably going to realize that as soon as you touch the throttle, it doesn't really want to turn anymore. You've got to be aware that four-wheel drive likes to stop very quickly, and it likes to go very quickly. It doesn't like the corner so much. To the first corner, you definitely want to wait until you're kind of straight to get on the gas. And that'll bring you up to the really fun section. And you get to experience dirt in a four-wheel drive rally car for the first time, and it's incredible. The thing you're going to notice is that the car wants to just continue going in whatever direction it started in. So when you approach these corners, you're really going to have to turn right before the corner, very early, and the car is going to develop this momentum to it. It's still very important to hit the apex and to be very tidy and clean, but you're going to have to do that with the momentum of the car. And then you got this nice jump that is really fun. One thing to keep in mind when you're in the air is if you hit the brakes, the front end will come down. If you hit the gas, the front end will come up a little bit. So you got to control, kind of like an airplane, the pitch of the car in the air so you're kind of flying straight. And as soon as you land here, you're going to want to start heading left. You're going to give it a big input and start it sliding to the left. And you're just going to be constantly trying to slow this thing down to make this corner, because it's very, very slippery and it's a very tight corner. And the preferred line, believe it or not, is still going to be right here at the apex. Once you get out of here, the next couple corners are relatively simple, typical tarmac corners. Not a lot to these stuff. This is all flat out. And yeah, let's see what a full lap looks like.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to No Brakes TV. Tonight here at Volusia Speedway, we are in the New Era Bash race number 3, where we are going to be seeing the UMP Modifieds and the Pro Late models here at Volusia Speedway this evening. Modifieds will have a 50-lap feature, as well as the Pro Late models will be running a 30-lap feature, and it is going to be live on YouTube. So welcome and thank you for joining us. Welcome to No Brakes TV. If you have a chance, go through and give us a nice like and subscribe. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Either way, let us know how you think of the broadcast. Going to be joined by Phil Ellis up here in the booth tonight, who's been running this for the last few weeks so far and has been done a fantastic job. Phil, welcome to Volusia. Glad to have you on board.
Thanks, Tom. Good to be back, man. Had some awesome racing here last week with these guys for the Dirt Series, so looking forward to seeing some more. Hopefully, the racing and the late models last week was phenomenal. Last lap pass for the win. Hopefully it's the same this week. Modifieds last week, a little on the rough side. They didn't finish their feature. They got cut short, but hopefully they can step it up this week and come back and overcome that and have a good race tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it myself. Looks like we're going to have 8 Pro Late model cars on the track tonight, as well as 10 Modifieds, if I got them added up here correctly. 11 Modifieds listed to run tonight. So yeah, it should be a pretty good battle in both races. these guys definitely put on a good show week on, week out. So looking forward to having a little bit of fun with these boys. You can see them out there practicing now. Just getting a few hot laps in, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have any questions for us at the booth, make sure you go down and type in the chat, and we'll do what we can to answer for you.
Looks like right now, watching the middle groove here, looks like where everybody's trying to run. I know last week at Eldora it was right up against the outside wall, was fast, so we'll see how that comes in as the race goes on. Looks like Heat Race is getting ready to roll off, getting the lineup set right now. Talking with a few other guys here. Seems like a lot of these guys are coming over from the game R Factor and coming into these modifieds on iRacing. Good to see that. iRacing is picking up big time, and it's great to see more people coming over. Late models gridding up for their heat races right now. Looks like there's going to be one heat race for the late models. Late model field tonight, you have Michael Haman in the 19 car, Dalton Connor in the 22, Trevor Baker in the 15, Leland Karlblom in the 34, Chad Hanna in the 16, Dakota Osborne in the 20, and David Bachman in the 84. Last week at Eldora, the 19 of Michael Haman and Chad Hanna had an awesome battle for the win. Came down to a last lap pass, and Haman came on the outside and got by Hanna and won the race. Green flag will fly next time by. Looks like you've got the 15 of Baker on the pole with the 16 of Hanna on the outside. So the 84 of Bachman starting third with the 16 of Hanna on the the 19 of Haman on the outside. 22 of Dalton Connor starting fifth. Leland Karlblom sixth, and the 20 of Dakota Osborne rounds out the field. Green flag is out. 15 car gets a good jump. Trevor Baker.
Trevor Baker got a huge jump coming in turn 3, but as you see the 16 car, Chad Hanna driving it in deep right up to his bumper, trying to get back to him at the start finish. Unable to reach him.
Trouble deep back in the field. It's like the 20 car of Dakota Osborne. Looks as if the 20 of Osborne came in the corner. There was contact ahead of him between the 19 of Haman and the 84 of Bachman. Osborne had nowhere to go, ended up spinning.
Yeah, tough break for him, but he'd be able to get back in there, Phil, and see what he can do to try to move his way up in this first heat race here in the late models. So understand we are going green next time by, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be led to the line by the number 15 of Trevor Baker. He'll on that spot. On the outside will be Shanahan, and the 16, the 84 on the inside of David Bachman, and the 19 outside of him of Michael Hamann. Inside row 3, the 22 of Dalton Connor, and we are off to the green start flag. Looks like we're going to have a challenge for the lead fill on the high side. The 16 of Chad Hanna trying to do anything. Oh, he catches the wall after a little bit of contact with the 15 on the backstretch, and that's going to bring out the caution flag.
Yeah, looks like the 16 of Hanna got a good run on the outside there. And Baker either tried to shut the door or just didn't realize how far up he was and just kept coming up. Put Hanna in the outside wall. Heavy contact with the outside wall as well. The 84 car of David Bachman also got a piece of that.
Guys, we haven't been able to complete one lap yet. We're going to continue restarting at this point, ladies and gentlemen, with the original start we had to this heat race at the beginning. Once we get into one official green flag lap with these boys, then we'll have an opportunity at that point to see what shakes out if there is any caution. They're going to have 10 laps to go in this heat race.
Looks like that 20 car deep in the field back there, Dakota Osborne, got some heavy damage. Looks like the nose is missing on that car. Looks like we're going green. Looks like Hanna and Baker side by side into one. Hanna using that outside to his advantage.
Baker will be the 16 of Chad Hanna as he moves past the 15 of Trevor Baker. So if the 22 spinning as he makes contact with the 19 in the back. Caution on the speedway again.
Looked like Baker was getting a pretty good run on the bottom there underneath the Hanna and just couldn't pull off the pass coming off the corner.
Yeah, it looked like there was just a little bit more bite on the high side, that's for sure, for that 16 of Chad Hanna. But should be interesting seeing two quick cars. It looked like the 19 was trying to bump his nose in there quite a bit. Michael Hamann, he's always been quick here.
Yeah, Hamann and Hanna had a really good battle last week, as I stated earlier. Hamann came out the victor on the outside with a last lap pass. Looks like we're going green again. Hanna and Hamann out front use the outside line to their advantage. Doesn't look like that damage is hurting that 20 car too bad, Tom.
No, he's able to hold it up there pretty good. He's driving it in pretty deep each corner and able to hold his line, maintaining fourth position here just behind the 15 of Trevor Baker. I think Trevor Baker's going to sit back there for a couple laps and see what happens between these two fast drivers up front in the 15 or the 16 and the 19. That Hamann and Hanna battling side by side again each lap.
I was watching the 20 of Osborne that we were just talking about. It's like him and the 22 car had some contact going through 1 and 2. 22 drove in and caught him and sent him spinning. And he continued on, so no yellow. Good battle for the lead right now, though. Hamann all over Hanna up front. It just looks like that outside line has just that much more grip, Tom, like we were saying.
Yeah, just past halfway in this heat race, Phil. It looks like these two up front, you know, again, Hanna and Hamann, they're going to have a battle for the lead. They're going to have to be a big mistake to allow the Trevor Baker and the 15 to try to catch up. So we'll see what these guys can do. They're running pretty clean with each other. So now we got 3 laps to go as we see the 19 of Michael Hamann drops to the bottom, gets a little bit tight through the center and gives up some track position to the 16 of Chad Hanna.
was a little bit of contact there, Tom. That's actually what happened. I had must have been a different angle than you, but Haman got just barely into the quarter panel with Hannah, and it got them both out of shape, and it actually allowed Hannah to drive away. He regained it quicker. Haman just couldn't recover.
See if Haman has anything to do on the way back, coming down the backstretch, taking turn 3 and 4 for the last time in this heat race. See him dive it to the bottom to the inside. Let's see if he can hold on and pull off the slide job coming out of 4, and he's able to do so.
Yeah, it looked like he might have gotten in his head a little bit there. He just, I don't know if,
Is that it?
If Hannah thought he was going to come in a little bit harder and get him with the door or what, but Haman pulled it off.
Yeah, it was tough to tell. It looked like Hannah just backed off a little bit through the center of 3 and 4, and that just allowed Haman to just drive right by him on the bottom without any incident.
I think those two there are going to have a heck of a battle again tonight, man. Last week was phenomenal. Probably some of the best racing I've seen on iRacing in a long time. Asphalt, dirt, no matter what. They were side by side, swapping the lead back and forth for, I'd say, probably 25 of their 30-lap feature.
Well, if this heat race is any indication, we're going to see a lot of that again tonight in the feature, so it's going to be a blast, that's for sure.
Modified heat race number 1 rolling out. Kyle Vohringer and Corey Whitworth on the front row. Ken Short and Dylan Thomas in the second row. And Travis Marsh and Stephen Shady rounding out this heat race field. Green flag is out.
Looks like Corey Whitworth just got a huge jump over Vohringer in the 01 coming out of turn 4. He's going to take the first, it's like going into turn 3, coming out of turn 4, he's going to take the first lap here at Volusia Speedway in this first heat race in the modifieds.
Pulled out to a pretty big advantage too. Now you got Vohringer and Thomas battling for second. Ken Short right there as well. Looks like the only car really not up with the front pack is Stephen Shady. Whitworth still out front by about 5 cars over Kyle Vohringer in second.
One thing's for sure, these top 5s here, Phil, you know what? They've obviously have quite a bit of experience on these dirt tracks and these modifieds. They're all running pretty clean, pretty hard. Following each other where they can. We'll see how dicey they're going to get as these laps start to wind down in this first heat race in the modifieds.
Yeah, I made note earlier of a bunch of guys that came over from R Factor and were really good, and these 5 are 5 of those guys. So, you know, you see the experience they have and just inches from each other. You know, the 2 cars at the back are now side by side as we just took halfway. You got Ken Short on the outside, Travis Marsh on the inside. Still really no advantage to either car.
No, that's for sure. We don't see anybody gaining a lot of time or anybody giving up a lot of time. So I don't think we're going to even see a mistake take place in these top 5 drivers. These guys got it going on, doing quite the job so far in this heat race.
Two to go this time by. Corey Whitworth out front. He was the winner last week here at Dirt Series at Eldora.
Yeah, you can see that Corey Whitworth in that 69, he's got that modified hooked up. You know, he's just got just a tick better setup. It looks like got a little bit more speed than the 01 of Kyle Vohringer. So as we come by for the white flag this time by.
So Vohringer hit the wall there. He tried to get a little bit more advantage and get down a little bit lower, hit the inside wall with the left front of the car.
Pretty solid pretty solid battle back here for third and fourth position as they come out of turn 4. Who's going to hold that one? Look like the 3, Dylan Thomas, does pick up over the, I think that was the 2.
Yes, it was. That was the 2 of Travis Marsh. It's like Heat Race 2 getting ready to roll. 313, Greg Thompson on the pole. Colton Snyder in the 30 on the outside. Bobby Morrison, the 117 third. Dylan Petty, 125 fourth. Torrin Shorts in 5th. Going green this time by.
And we are underway here in the modified second heat race of the evening. These 5 cars got some work to cut out for them. See how they can get around this track pretty good here so far as we're getting ready to complete one lap. As our leader, Greg Thompson, comes diving into the turn 4, and he will lead lap 1 of this heat race.
A battle for second right now between the 30 of Colton Snyder and the 117 of Bobby Morrison. Snyder on the outside. Morrison on the bottom tries to pull a slide job, doesn't work. They're rubbing each other down the straightaway. Door to door down into 1. Oh, in contact, and the 117 goes around.
117, Bobby Morrison just coming in just a little too deep, not a whole lot of space to get up. He was getting kind of pinched off there. But he caught his nose on the barrels there in the front stretch, or in the corner there, just coming into turn 1, and that was all she did. He ripped his nose right off.
It looked like those cars pretty much got hooked together down the straightaway. I mean, looks like Snyder had the low line pretty well blocked. Morrison came up underneath him and they locked together. And that was all it wrote. Morrison went in the inside wall. Going green this time by. Your leader still Greg Thompson. Green flag's out. Man, contact all over the place between these back 4 cars now.
Yeah, that's going to open up big time for Greg Thompson. All he's got to do is cruise now as these guys getting into each other in the back. Middle of turn 3 and 4, looked like we had Bobby Morrison get together with, looked like Colton Snyder in the 30 car.
Yeah, those 4 cars were all over each other all the way through 1 and 2 and down the backstretch, and something had to give. Go green next time by. Right now your leader, Greg Thompson, out front in the 313. Torrin Shorts in the 33 second. Dylan Petty third in the 125. Colton Snyder in the 30. And Bobby Morrison rounds out this heat race field in the 117 car.
And we're off green, back underway here in this second heat race in the modifieds as the 313 of Greg Thompson jumps out to a solid little lead, but we got a battle going on between 33 of Torrin Shorts and the 125 on the bottom of Dylan Petty, trying to make his way around on the bottom, pull off a slide job, gets out of it, is able to hold him off the start-finish line.
Thompson just pulled right back away again, Tom. I mean, he's He's in his own league in this heat race. We'll see what he's got in the feature against some of the other guys. Halfway this time by. Still a good battle for second between Petty and Bobby Morrison, and Torrin Shirt's right there as well.
Yeah, it looks like the 117's battling back hard. It started at the back. He gets into the back of the, looks like the 33 just a little bit. He does back off. That was the 125 he got into, my bad. Dylan Petty got a little bit of a bump there from Bobby Morrison going into turn 3 that time by. He backed off, let him have the position to get back up there.
It's cool to look through the field here in these heat races and see the different lines. You know, not every car is running the same line. You got, you know, and Thompson is running pretty much about a car and a half off the bottom. Petty up a little higher than that, and the 117 of Morrison just a little bit higher than where Petty's running. So interesting to see how that'll pan out once the track gets worn in a little bit more in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're starting to see that line move higher and higher with every lap. In this heat race so far, these guys have been able to hold the bottom if they need to, but I think there's a little bit more grip on the high side as we've seen Greg Thompson demonstrating in 1 and 2. On the bottom of 3 and 4, he's just right around the bottom, but through 1 and 2, he's definitely running the berm up on top. And that should do it for heat race number 1 of the modifieds. That one's going to be won by the number 313 of Greg Thompson, finishing second be the 125 of Dylan Petty, followed by the 117 of Bobby Morrison.
A little bit smaller field this week in the modifieds than last week, so maybe the lack of those couple cars will make the race a little bit cleaner, and we'll actually see what these guys got this week. We're going to play the national anthem. We'll return as soon as that is finished.
Around the world with the playing of our national anthem.
Late models making their way to the grid for their feature race. Lap feature race the distance tonight. Looks like your lineup is the 19, Michael Hamann on the inside, Chad Hanna, 16 on the outside, Trevor Baker in the 15, third, Leland Carblom, fourth. Oh, looks like that changed, sorry. 22 of Dalton Connor. Give them 2 laps of hot laps, and then we'll line back up and be ready for the feature. Funny, the 2 guys from last week that were fast are going to be starting side by side in this feature for tonight. See how that pans out. Finish up this lineup. 22, Dalton Connor 4th. Leland Carblom in the 34, 5th. 6 will be Dakota Osborne in the 20. Going green this time by. .30 laps of distance for this late model. Available. Here they come. And green flag is out.
And we are underway, ladies and gentlemen, in the main event here in the Pro Late Models. Looks like right now Chad Hanna's got himself off to a pretty solid start as he's going to come around and lead lap 1, followed by the 19 of Michael Hamann. Running third, looks like the 22 of Dalton Connor, pretty solid start so far, and the 15 of Trevor Baker just right behind him and running fourth.
You know, look like Hanna caught Hamann sleeping on that start, Tom.
Yeah, definitely. I think he learned something that he's going to have to find a way to get out in front of him as far as he can to hold Hamann off. Those guys battle pretty hard, but 19 of Michael Hamann was able to pull off that last lap pass, last corner pass in the heat race, so it'll be interesting to see if he's going to be able to get back to him.
Hamann just a little bit quicker than Hanna. Actually about 0.2 of a second quicker that time. Hamann just ran his fastest lap of the night at a 16.288. See him closing in pretty quick there. He's got it within. I mean, he's right on his bumper now. He went from probably 10 car lengths back to within a car length now.
Yeah, just inside of about 3 to 4 laps too. So he's definitely got some power under the hood of that number 19 car. Looks like he's going to sit there so far. Just going to challenge too hard right away, but the 16 happens to make a mistake. Chad Hanna right there ready to pounce is Michael Hamann in the 19.
Looks like the lines in 1 and 2 are about the same, but you look in 3 and 4 and Hamann puts it way down on the bottom. Hanna up top. Hamann pulls off the pass for the lead there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if the 16 of Chad Hanna can learn anything from the line that the 19 had been running. Now he's up to the high side and he's following him around. And we got caution on the speedway. It looks like the number 20 of Dakota Osborne got stuck out in the fence and was unable to get going again. He'll bring out the first caution here in the main event feature here in the Pro Late Models at Volusia Speedway, brought to you by
Going green this time by. Delaware style start. 19 of Haman out front. With the 22 of Dalton Connor on the inside. Hannah on the outside. Green flag's back out. Oh, and there's trouble already. Haman and Hannah made contact there, Tom.
They were just piled up there. It looked like the 19 just didn't want to go and take off. And the 16 behind him and one of the others was just after him, behind him, going after it to get it, and just couldn't get going.
Yeah, it looked like he didn't fire when the green came out. And Hannah tried to fill the hole on the outside and fire, and it just didn't work. And they just barely caught each other. Word from officials is the 19 will get the lead back after that. Going green this time by.
I don't think we'll see the 19 make that mistake again there, Phil. He just got sandwiched by the 16 and the 22 with nowhere to go for those guys. But and 16 and 19 got on top of each other, and that's just the way it ended up.
Yeah, green flag's back out. We're racing. Haman gets a decent start that time. Hannah tucked in right behind him. About the 15 of Baker along into third. Looks like we got a 3-car battle for the lead here now, Tom, between the 15, the 16, and the 19.
That looks like the 19 that didn't get a chance to pit and get any damage fixed that last little spin, and it looks like it's costing him a little bit right now as the 16 of Hannah is just motoring on by. But where did all this speed come in? The number 15 of Trevor Baker, he is just fighting for the lead now on the bottom with the 16 on the high side as they come down the backstretch.
Yeah, that good-looking 15 car with Superman on the hood. Love that wrap on that car. Looks like he can put his car just about anywhere right now, Tom, and not have issues with it.
Yeah, he was really solid last time by on the bottom through 3 and 4. As he comes off on turn 4, he just launches like a bullet up towards the start-finish line. As he pulls out to about a quarter-second lead so far right now on the 19, he's got a solid 3 to 4 car lengths coming down the backstretch. As you know, on these short tracks, these half-mile short tracks here on these dirt, that 3-4 car length lead is sometimes insurmountable to get by, but looks like the 19 of Michael Haman is doing whatever he can to get back, just like he did in the first run.
Yeah, like I said before, Haman made a sneak attack last weekend. I mean, he was back by probably 10 car lengths and ran Hannah down on a long green flag run and got him on the last lap for the win. So we'll see what he can do with Baker tonight, see if he can repeat. I'm wondering if that the 16 of Hannah didn't get a little bit more damage than what we thought in that wreck on that restart, because he's fading fast and just looks like the car is ill handling on him now.
Yeah, I agree, Phil. He must have had something go on there where he's just struggling to get through the center of the corner and find the fastest line around the track. Where now he's back to running fourth, and he's getting ready to get a little bit of pressure by number 34, Leland Carlblum. Name we haven't got to announce yet tonight.
The field pretty well spread out now. Everybody's running their own line. Kind of see some, like Haman, you kind of see him picking and choosing where he wants to run, trying to find something here. And I mean, to me, it seems like he closes in 1 and 2, but loses a little bit of ground at 3 and 4.
Yeah, definitely. The 15 is definitely hooked up through 3 and 4. I don't know where he's getting it, but he just comes off the corner like a bullet, and he's gone. He opens up a good 2 to 3 car lengths, but in 1 and 2, like you said, Haman gets a chance to get back in and get those back. So we're interested to see what happens here in the next 10 laps, Phil, if Michael's able to close the door on him at all.
you watch, like that time there, I watched through 3 and 4, and Baker slips just a little bit in 1 and 2, and I think that's the downfall. Is in 3 and 4, he keeps that thing pinned right against the inside line, but in 1 and 2, he's struggling center, and you can almost hear him pedal the throttle just a little bit, and that, I believe, is where Haman is gaining that time.
Yeah, I think if he's going to want to maintain some speed, he's going to have to move up. Looks like 1 and 2 is getting a little slicked in pretty good. He might have to move up a little bit further towards the cushion to hold on to that momentum going through 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's starting to look really slick now. We'll see how that pans out for the modified feature as well, because most of those guys were running right on the bottom in their heat races. So now they're going to have to move up, and that's what I love about dirt, is the track is different almost every time you hit the track. So, oh, Baker in the fence there. That's going to allow Amon to close on him.
Closed on him big time. Looked like he just lost focus for just a minute there, getting into 3. He kissed the wall. Held a little bit of momentum, but he, like you said, that is going to give up that huge lead of 4 or 5 car lengths he had, where Haman's been able to close it down to 1 to 2 lengths now.
Yeah, and you see now, watching that time through 3 and 4, Baker moved up a little bit. Haman stayed on the bottom, and Haman closed big time there. Got right to the back of the car. Lost a little bit off the corner. Baker now pulling back away, but Haman's sticking right there with him. 5 to go this time by.
Yeah, I don't want to forget about the 22 back there. Dalton Connor's running a pretty solid race. He just can't close the gap on these 2 lead cars at all. But if these 2 get into each other and start battling, he's going to be right there to get a good solid finish out of this race.
Baker slipped up just a little bit. It looked like Haman right in his tire track slipped up as well. Neither one really gained anything out of that. So we'll see how it pans out here with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, we're definitely starting to see the bottom go away here. Oh, the 15. I don't know what happened there. He just kind of ran out of gas, and that shut the car down, and that opened up the door for the 19, but he got a little bit of damage. 19 has lost his nose. We go back green. That might give the 22 an opportunity to get by him.
What an interesting turn of events. You know, it's racing. Anything can happen, but to run out of fuel, man, that's horrible with 3 to go.
Yeah, I bet he's going to be having a nice little conversation with his pit guys in there. Said, hey, what in the heck were you thinking not putting enough gas in? So anyway, mistake was made, and unfortunately he loses that opportunity to really win that race. He would have had to battle for it, but we'll see if he's got anything to do in the last couple laps, if he can do it or not.
Now, with 2 laps left, how do you think this damage is going to affect the 19, Tom?
That's what I was wondering about. I think Dalton Connor restarts pretty solid. He gets a decent jump. It all depends on what happens to the 19 going into turn 1. If he's going to have, what's it going to do to the front of his car when he goes to plant his nose? Is it going to push him out loose or tight? Is it going to bring the rear end around? We'll have to see.
Single file restart this time by. They're coming into turn 3. Green this time by.
Find out on our next segment. Printing in color, is it legal? Does it cost as much as a horse? I'll find out on our next.
Green flag's out with 2 laps to go. Michael Haman gets a decent jump, but Connor stays right with him. Down the backstretch, Haman pulls out to about 2 or 3 car lengths advantage.
Printers. Too complicated.
Connor down low, Haman running higher. See what happens here.
Pretty smart restart by the 19 Haman. He brake checked the 22 just enough that he had to get off the gas, and when he did that, he was gone. So that gave him the momentum and the space that he needed to run away with these last 2 laps with the 19.
That was a really good run. I was wondering how much that damage would really hurt him, and I didn't really see much. I mean, it seemed like the car was still planting right where he wanted to. It didn't shove the nose. It didn't get loose. still seemed like it was still pretty stable with that damage on.
Yeah, I think the key came from that was the restart. He had enough space to hold him off, and really at that point it seemed like there was only one lane around to try to get by somebody out here, and that was the bottom if you're going to have the opportunity to do it. So he held the bottom, held him off for a solid 2 laps, and came away with the victory. Good run by him.
Printers. Too complicated for the human mind to understand, but I'll give it a shot on our next segment at the office.
We're joined by the late model winner, Michael Haman. Michael, how are you tonight, man?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing really good.
I'm good. One heck of a race. Good run there, Michael. It looked like, what did you see out there going on the track?
Oh, it was a pretty racy track. I mean, from top to bottom, I was having a heck of a time catching Colt. I don't know who that was in front of me. Finally reeled him in. I didn't know how I was going to get around him. I'm going to try on the outside of 1 and 2, and I don't know if he ran out of gas. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, we were told he ran out of gas, and you caught him, but we were wondering how much that damage was really going to affect your car. And those last 2 laps, it really didn't seem like it did. The car seemed like it planted really good and stayed right about where you wanted it.
Yeah, no, I was worried too. I didn't know if I was going to have much damage there, and yeah, no, it didn't take right up off that after that yellow.
Yeah, one heck of a run out there, Michael. Anybody you want to thank tonight?
I got to thank Chad Hannon for the setup. I know we had a good race out there, and my sponsors, Ditzy the Clown, and the Dirt Pile, and you guys for obviously putting this on. You know, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for joining us up in the booth. Go out and celebrate that win tonight, and see if you can't catch on. See what happens in this modified race. Anybody you like here in the modifieds?
Oh, I'm rooting for Travis or Bobby on this one.
All right, we'll see what happens. Have a great night and go celebrate, buddy.
You too, guys. Thanks, guys.
Your winner, Michael Haman. Looks like the modified feature is out on track. Hot laps underway for the modified feature.
This is going to be a pretty exciting race here, Phil. I'm looking forward to this one. Looks like we got about 11, 12 cars on the track tonight in the modifieds. These guys were racy as heck in both these features, and a lot of room was given, but they were running tight too. So a lot of respect from all these drivers back and forth with each other. We're going to have a lot of fun, especially when this track gets burned in about lap 11, 12 through 15. Should see some multiple line racing going on with these modifieds.
$50 laps for the modifieds tonight, Tom. It's like 69, Corey Whitworth on the inside, Greg Thompson on the outside, Kyle Vohringer third, Dylan Petty fourth, Dylan Thomas and Bobby Morrison will be the top 6, Travis Martian 7th.
It's like 8th to be 33, Mr. Torrid Shorts. 28 on the inside. Is that 28? Ken Short. And we're off.
The 69 and the 313 were really fast in the heat race. We'll see how they battle together.
Looks like we got them 3 wide coming through 3 and 4 right now with Marsh on the bottom and the 2.
Really tight field here. Everybody's pretty much together. Looks like right now Marsh. Oh, and there's contact between the 3 and the 125.
117 gets in. Bobby Morrison gets a little bit of that too, but it looks like they stay running then under green as we get one spun in the backstretch down into turn 1 up into the wall.
Yeah, as you said that with the 117, looked like the 30 stuck his nose up in there, and him and the 117 made contact on the right rear. The 30 went into the outside wall, and that was it.
Yeah, it looked like also the 117 got into it on the exit of 2. He ended up hitting into the wall too.
The 3 car may have a little bit of damage. Dylan Thomas, too, he got hit in the left rear in that wreck. So see how bad the damage is for him, or if it really hurts him any. I don't know how hard he actually got hit. I just know that there was contact made. You could see his car kind of jump sideways. It's like the 313, Greg Thompson choosing the inside line on the restart. Kyle Vohringer third on the outside. It's like Marsh will be 4th. 28 of Ken Short, 5th. Dylan Petty 6th. Dylan Thomas 7th. Torrin Shirts 8th. Steven Shady is 9th. And Colton Snyder rounds out the field in 10th right now. Bobby Morrison still on pit road. He's rejoining the field right now. We'll go green this time by.
We go back green this time, ladies and gentlemen. With 48 laps left to complete under green flag racing here in the UMP Modifieds at Volusia Speedway, presented by Understeer Motorsports. So far, so good. Watching these modifieds go around, some minor incidents getting into each other, Phil, but it looks like for the most part, these guys got it under control.
Yeah, it looks like Corey Whitworth gets a good jump out front again. Right now, the battle's for second between Greg Thompson on the inside and the 313, Kyle Vohringer on the outside in the 01. Right now, Travis Marsh looking 3 wide, too.
Looks like right now, most of these cars are tearing up the bottom, so in about 10 to 15 laps, these guys are going to have to be forced to go high to find some traction. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah, it looks like Thompson running a little bit lower than everybody. You got Whitworth and Vohringer running in the middle of the track. Thompson right on the bottom. Marsh running down there as well. Top 5 all right nose to tail right now.
For the most part, looks like everybody's trying to run just about the same line to get around. And don't look now, just as we're talking, look like Colton Snyder, the number 30, gets a little squirrely on the backstretch, and that's going to open up the door for a few cars to get by him as he's falling back to 5th position now. Excuse me, that wasn't Colton, that was the 313 of Greg Thompson. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Thompson slipped up just a little bit. Still battling with the 28, Ken Short. Now it looks like Thompson gets back to the bottom. The bottom line fading fast, Tom. I mean, he can't do anything down there right now.
Yeah, not at all. You take a look at the 3rd place car of Travis Marsh and the number 2 coming through 1 and 2 as Thompson gets into the side of him and he gets turned around, and we've got a caution on the speedway with collision right back at the flag stand.
Yeah, to me, what that looked like, man, it looked like Thompson tried to run the bottom and just slipped up, and Marsh was right there. I mean, it was no one really at fault, just the track's going away and everybody's trying to use every inch of it. Looks like Marsh will hold his spot in 3rd. Vohringer 2nd. Corey Whitworth still out front. Ken Short running 4th. It's like the 3 car of Dylan Thomas, 5th. 125, Dylan Petty 6th. Torrin Church 7th. Bobby Morrison 8th, Stephen Shady 9th, Colton Snyder 10th, and 11th, Greg Thompson. Looks like the 01, second place, Kyle Vohringer picked the outside here. So, Delaware restart, you got the 69 of Whitworth out front by himself. Second place is on the outside, the 01 of Vohringer. Third, Marsh on the bottom.
That's going to definitely benefit Vohringer on this restart, Phil, as the middle to high side of 1 and 2 seems to be where the speed was at. We'll see if Marsh is able to beat him to that position and maybe move up the track a little bit to create a little bit of space and get some of that speed coming through 1 and 2.
Yeah, green flag's out. Top 3 dead even right now. Looks like Vohringer slips up in the middle line. Marsh gets a good run on the bottom. Stays right on Whitworth's tail.
Yeah, it looked like Vohringer was getting ready to get into the back end of the leader. 69 Corey Whitworth just backed out of it just a little bit, but that cost him some serious momentum. That's going to have him drop back a little bit.
Right now, Marsh looking inside of Whitworth for the lead. Marsh on the bottom, Whitworth on the outside. Got a car around deep in the field.
Middle of the track is definitely where the speed's at in 1 and 2. Caution on the track.
Looks like that's a 30 of Colton Snyder again.
Last time through under green, through 1 and 2, Travis Marsh tried to get to the bottom, and it looked like, to me, Corey Whitworth in the 69 was able to just pull off just a little bit. The bottom has got away in 1 and 2, definitely. The speed is middle up in that track. That onto the track. On the turn 3 and 4, it looks like they still got a little bit of groove or a little bit of grip down on the bottom, but should start to move up as we move up further into this race.
Yeah, the bottom seems like it's going away, and it's fading fast. I mean, the guys can put it down there, but they just can't seem to keep it there. And every time somebody tries, they slip up. Like you said before, Vohringer almost ran into the back of Whitworth and had to check up. Lost 2 spots, fell from 2nd to 4th. We'll see what he has on this restart, see if he can get back up there, battle with Marsh and Whitworth up front. Ten laps in of this 50-lap feature, 40 laps to go.
We've got them lined up, and they are getting ready to go green next time out of turn 4, and we will be back at it here in Volusia. This is race 3, ladies and gentlemen, of the New Era Bash at Volusia Motor Speedway, brought to you by Understeer Motorsports.
Whitworth got a good jump that time. It's like the 28 of Ken Short on the inside. Tried to put it down underneath the Whitworth, couldn't do it. Now Marsh right there with Whitworth going through 3 and 4. Whitworth and Marsh both run in the middle, Short all the way down at the bottom. Marsh right there, Tom. I mean, any slip up by Whitworth, Marsh is going to pounce, but to me it seems like Whitworth has been so smooth so far.
That's definitely been the key. He's got the preferred line. He's the leading car. He's going to have to make Marsh get around him, and he's going to have to hold his line, and if he can do that, he should be able to hold him off pretty good. Until we get further on in this race and the groove starts to make its way further up the track, we'll see what happens as they get to the high side. If the middle and the high will be able to produce any more speed.
So first, we haven't seen Greg Thompson come back through the field after the mishap he had earlier. He's still sitting in 6th place, really just sitting there lurking right behind these guys. You know, like I said before, one slip and he's right there, but Marsh pressuring Whitworth really, really hard right now. Just Whitworth looks a little bit better through 1 and 2. Marsh gets right to him in 3 and 4. Just can't do anything, and Whitworth gets the run up off the corner. Nose to tail, Whitworth and Marsh. Marsh looks underneath of Whitworth. Whitworth gets the run again. Marsh keeps the nose under him this time. Whitworth runs up higher, gets the run up off the turn 2. Marshall tucked back in. He lost about 2.5 car lengths there.
Yeah, I think that'll taught him. He had some momentum coming down the front stretch for sure, but he didn't have anywhere else to go but the bottom. I think if he would have kept on the high side, he probably would have been getting into the door. So it was a pretty classy move by Marsh, saving his tire. Or, you know what, kind of decided, all right, I'll rip her down to the bottom. I might give up a couple spots, but I'll come back and get him later, as he's getting challenged now for the third, or for second. Looks like right now I'm trying to figure out who that is.
It's the 28 of Short. 28 car, Ken Short, looking inside all the way to the bottom of the track now. Looks like Whitworth just caught the wall a little bit there, Tom. That might hurt him a little bit.
We got another solid battle going on back here for 4th and 5th position. That looks like Bobby Morrison, and he's battling side by side with the other car. I can't get a good eye on him. Hang on 1 second. I'll try to figure out who it is.
Like that's the 0-1 of Vollringer, Tom.
Yeah, Vollringer's been able to pull away now. It looks like if we go back to the front, these guys still running nose to tail. Marsh and Whitworth. What a battle we're seeing out here. We got caution on the speedway with a wreck in number 3.
Looks like it was the 30 of Colton Snyder once again, Tom. Looks like he just, coming down the backstretch, he caught the fence and tried to turn it into the corner, and it took off on him.
Yeah, he got into a little incident earlier. It seemed like ever since then he's been having ill handling race cars. So, with that being said, he brings out the caution for the second time. Well, let's get these boys lined back up here, and we'll be going green shortly.
The battle for the top 3 with Whitworth, Marsh, and Ken Short. I mean, they were nose to tail all the way around. Going into the corner, it seemed like Marsh drove in just a little bit deeper. Maybe that's hurting him, Tom. I don't know if maybe him driving in that little bit further down is causing him to lose that little bit off the corner. I'm wondering if maybe he just stays in the tire tracks and hopes Whitworth messes up.
Yeah, I really think he's going to have to bide his time and get later on in the race. You know what? And he just keeps pressuring Whitworth. Whitworth might end up burning that right rear tire off as we get down further in this race, and that will definitely open up the door for the 2 of Travis Marsh to go by.
"21 laps in, 29 to go in this 50-lap feature."
Enjoy this view you're going to pick up here, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking back in the field from the leader, Corey Whitworth. You're going to have an opportunity to go through and watch, see what happens. You got Travis Marsh on the high side as you're looking at the camera view on your left. On the right, on the bottom, is the number 28.
Green flag's back out. We're racing. Ken Short got a good restart. Put it all the way at the bottom. It kind of hurt him there, but look at the run he gets down the backstretch.
Huge run in the backstretch.
Pulled even with Marsh there, but just couldn't pull off the pass. Looks low again. Did you see that move that Marsh just pulled in 1 and 2 there, Tom? He tried to go down low and slid up. Checked up just enough to let Whitworth regain the spot, tuck back in before losing any positions.
Don't look now, but Bobby Morrison's been able to get by the 0-1 of Kyle Vollringer to take over 4th position. He's going to look to try to put a little pressure on the 3rd place car, Ken Short.
throw a blanket over the top 3 cars. They're right there together. And then you've got Morrison right behind him, about 2 car lengths back. Anything happens, Morrison and Villring are right there to pounce. Halfway point this time by, 25 laps down, 25 to go.
Don't look now, but I think the 69 at Corey Whitworth has found some significant speed on the high side through 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's got it up about as high as I've seen anybody tonight, even in the late model feature. Didn't see anybody else go that high, and Marsh looks down low, but I think Whitworth's just going to pull away again down the backstretch. Bobby
Morrison has fought his way up to 3rd position as he's gotten by the 28 of Ken Short, setting his sights on the number 2 of Travis Marsh. So we heard our winner from the late model race. He had called out he is looking for the Bobby Morrison and Travis Marsh, one of those 2 drivers, to win tonight. But if Corey Whitworth has anything to say about it, he is going to go through and keep these guys from doing whatever he can to get by them.
Checking out the lines, everybody's running. Top 5 cars all moved up. Looks like Greg Thompson behind them, still trying to run the bottom and is struggling with it. He's sliding in and overshooting the corner and just hasn't caught on to what everybody else has. Corey Whitworth still running about a car width or so higher than everybody else through 3 and 4. 1 and 2, everybody seems to be pretty much up top. Here comes Marsh now underneath him. Gets a good run there, even down the backstretch.
And he's going to try to pull off the slide job. Gets up. Oh! Corey Whitworth holds him off, undercuts him, crosses him over, coming out of turn 4 as he slides up, getting in too hard into turn 1 and 2, as that gives the lead to Travis Marsh going into 3.
Morrison got the raw end of that deal there. Those 2 made contact. Morrison got caught up and it ended up spun. Whitworth down low now. Slide job up into the door of the 2 of Marsh. Ken Short comes in and makes contact as well. This race is getting really physical now. More contact between the top 2.
These 2 keep rubbing doors like it is. It's going to open up the door for Ken Short or Vollringer to just rip right through.
You know, I just mentioned a couple laps ago that Greg Thompson was still trying to trouble.
Finally had to give. Travis Marsh coming out trying to pull a slide job, got into the door, got turned around, gathered up a couple cars, and we have a caution on the speedway. It looked like the worst of that was the 01 of Kyle Vollringer.
Yeah, it looked like Ken Short got a piece of that too. I don't know how much damage he got.
One heck of a battle going on up there with Whitworth and Marsh for the lead. Lap after lap after lap. We'll see what kind of one advantage that Whitworth has at this point is his car's clean for the most part. Travis Marsh has had to battle his way to try to get to the lead, and hopefully he hasn't tore up his machine too much in that last incident.
As that caution came out, I was just getting ready to say, Greg Thompson, we were just talking about him a couple laps before that. He was running the bottom. He had moved up. He had caught those top 5 cars, or top 4 cars, excuse me.
Checking out the replay going on right there for you, ladies and gentlemen. I was watching it on the broadcast as well. It looked like Travis Marsh just came around when sliding up and caught the each touch right front and left front tires, and it just shot the nose of Travis Marsh down in towards the infield.
Yeah, about 3 laps before that, those guys were leaning on each other, slamming, bumping, banging. Nobody was giving an inch, and I mean, that's the name of the game. And like you said, it looked like Marsh just came in, and to me, it almost looked like they caught tires, Tom. And that's what sent him around, and wow. The 28 and the 01 had nowhere to go.
Looks like the 69 took the opportunity to pit. He's going to restart in the back, Phil. That gives up the lead to Ken Short in the number 28. We'll see if he's got anything, if he's able to hold off. And don't look now, Greg Thompson to the 313 is going to be restarting second.
I don't know how good of an idea that was by Whitworth. I mean, with just a handful of laps to go, I don't know if there's enough time for him to drive back through the field. Green flag's back out. We're racing. Short gets the jump. Thompson right behind him. Thompson takes the low line. Short up top.
The only thing I can think of is Whitworth must have had to go in and get a little bit of fuel. He must not have put enough in the car to finish the race. That's the only reason why I could see any reason for him wanting to pit at all. His car was pretty clean, running out front the majority of the time.
Yeah, I don't think he really had any damage. I mean, him and the 2 had made some contact, but oh, we got a car around. 313 of Thompson around.
Yeah, the 313 of Thompson was going through 1 and 2 on the bottom, caught the inside wall, came up and got into the 2 as the 2 just barely got by him.
The front end of that 2 car is taking some abuse here coming up, so he I don't know how it's going to affect him. I don't know how much damage Marsh has here, but we'll have to see what he can do with Ken Short out front.
It's quickly turning into a 1-lane track, that's for sure, Phil. The high side is where it's all at. The bottom has gone away completely. So these guys, anyway, from middle to top, are right up against the cushion is where the speed's going to be. So I think it's just a matter of see who makes a mistake and who doesn't at this point in this race. These guys are all pretty solid drivers and shown that they can run side by side with each other at any time. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how this wraps up and we get this one finished. But the Marsh has been strong in the 2 all night long. We'll just see if the damage is going to get the better of him.
Yeah, up front right now, you got the 28 of Ken Short, Travis Marsh second, Dylan Petty third, Torrin Shirts fourth. Looks like the 3 of Dylan Thomas fifth, Bobby Morrison sixth, Kyle Vohringer seventh, Greg Thompson eighth, excuse me, the 69, then the 313, so Corey Whitworth, then Greg Thompson. 78 of Stephen Shady also up there.
Coming out of green flag, out of turn 4, we have 14 green flag laps remaining. That'll be interesting to see if that's enough for the 69 Corey Whitworth, who's led most of this race, to get back up towards the front. But right now, the show has been in front with that number 2 of Travis Marsh. We'll see what Ken Short can do, anything he can to hold him off.
Short gets a good jump on a restart. Marsh right there in tow. Looks like Short gets a good run into 3 and 4. Middle of the track's where everybody seems to be right now.
Bobby Thompson made a huge run down the front stretch as he dives her into turn 1 and picks off 2 cars. It's like Kyle Vohringer in 01 is spun in turns 1 and 2. That'll bring out the caution to get on the raceway.
It looked like that whole deal started all the way back in turn 3. You had Dylan Petty up front. Looked like he checked up a little bit, got sideways. The 3 of Dylan Thomas got into Torrin Shorts. And Bobby Morrison put it down below and passed all of them. Vohringer was right there. They all made contact going into 1. Vohringer got hit from behind by Corey Whitworth and spun around. To me, if Marsh is going to have anything for Short here, he's almost going to have to out-muscle him and try to use more of the top side than the middle and try to get a better run-up off the corner and get there on him, Tom. I don't know if it'll really work. I mean, everybody seems to be running the middle, but, I mean, when Whitworth went to the outside, everybody followed. So we'll see how it pans out here.
Yeah, definitely. The risk that Marsh is going to have to take by doing that, though, is he's going to have to take the risk of cutting short, coming up and clipping off his nose. That's the one risk he's going to try to have to take going through the high side on, especially in turn 1 and 2. So slick through the middle of the corner. These guys are sliding up big time in 1 and 2. So 3 and 4 seems to be a little bit cleaner, a little bit more grip for these guys to get around. We know that the bottom is gone, but looks like we're going to have about 11, 12 laps left to go. Green flags. These guys are getting lined up to go green next time by.
Green flags out. We're back racing. Marsh puts a bumper to Short on the restart. It's like Short with about a 2-car length advantage right now over Marsh. Bobby Morrison looking underneath of Dylan Petty for third. Short pulls away by about 4 car lengths now. I'm wondering, like I said before, Tom, if maybe that 2-car doesn't have a little bit of damage from all the incidents he's been in. It's like trouble further back. 69 of Corey Whitworth around in turn 4.
Yeah, I was watching Corey Whitworth run through that last little green flag run. He was trying to put his car in quite a few places that probably shouldn't have been, trying to make up some ground, trying to get back to the front. Just one of those cases where he's driving too hard and it bit him, I think, there, Phil. But we'll see what happens here at the rest of this race. But tough break for him.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to put it up the middle 3 wide between it's like he was between the 313 on the bottom, Greg Thompson, and Torrin Shirts on the outside in the 33. They were pretty damn close to 3 wide all the way around, and Whitworth just drove in a little bit harder than everybody else and had to check up. And when he did, Vohringer and he made contact.
Yeah, tough end of the night for Corey Whitworth in the 69. His car has been taken back to the hauler after leading the majority of the first half of this race. Tough break for him. He's back in the pits right now with his pit crew guys trying to figure out what they could have done different. But we're getting ready to go green here, Phil, out of turn 4. So it'll be an interesting fight here the last few laps of this race.
Yeah, Ken Short had pulled out to about 6 car length advantage when the caution came out. We'll see if he can pull back away again. Green flag's back out. Short gets a good jump, gets about 3 car lengths just on the restart. Marsh draws a bead back up on him, gets it to within 2 car lengths down the backstretch. Ten laps to go this time by for Ken Short in the 28 car.
It's definitely going to be a battle between these 2 leaders. I just don't know that Marsh is going to have the equipment or the car to get by him.
Now it looks like he's kind of feeling out a couple different lines right now, Tom, trying to figure out what's going to work. And I mean, right now, Short just out front, can't make any mistakes because, you know, Marsh is right there. I mean, there's 4 car lengths between them, but 1 slip and that's erased. And these 2 have pulled a pretty good lead on the 125 of Petty.
It's good to see Petty move his way up into 3rd position. We haven't got a chance to really talk about him a whole lot tonight, but he's got a solid race going here in this feature of the modifieds as we got about 8 laps to go next time by.
Looks like Travis Marsh tried all the way at the bottom down there, 1 and 2 that time. Definitely did not work. Short pulled away to about 8 car lengths, but 3 and 4, Marsh uses the bottom, and it looked like it was going to work for him. Just couldn't get the run off.
Yeah, I think he definitely had to try something different in order to try to get by this guy, see if he couldn't pick up a little bit of speed. Unfortunately, it turns out that it cost him. Right now, Ken Short has got a massive lead as far as leads go in these dirt track races with these short tracks. 5 laps to go that time by.
Oh, trouble on the front stretch. Looks like Dylan Petty and Greg Thompson made contact, and the 78 of Stephen Shady and Dylan Thomas also.
That was a rather large wreck there. That gathered up the last half of the field. It seems like I think a few of those guys have used their quick repair already. I don't know if they're going to be able to get back out in this race.
Yeah, I was watching that battle for a lap or two before that, and you had the 125 of Petty, the 117 of Morrison, and the 313 of Thompson all right together, and they were 3 wide there for a little bit, and it looked like they made contact coming through 3 and 4, and they all checked up. And then coming off of 4, Petty got into the right front of Thompson, and then they went around, and everybody behind him had nowhere to go.
Well, when we get back to Greenfield, we got just 5 laps left in this race here at Volusia Speedway Park.
Travis Marsh is going to have to dig deep in his bag of tricks here, Tom.
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of work doing here, race 3 at the New Era Bash at Volusia. So as we get going, sit back, relax, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy this last 5-lap shootout for the UMP Modified feature win here at Volusia Sports Park.
Green flag's back out. Coming down the backstretch, short with about a 2-car length advantage over Marsh. Marsh running a little bit of a lower line there to 3 and 4. Yellow is out.
And another crash in turn 3 will bring out a caution again in this race. Quickie caution here in the modified race. We are going green this time by out of turn 4. We are back at it, and Ken Short gets a huge jump coming out of turn 4.
Short with a big advantage through 3 and 4. Marsh trying to draw a beat on him, trying to see if he can run him back down. About 4 car lengths.
Yeah, ran out of gas. Did you see the leader just must have ran out of gas coming out of turn 2, and he went straight up into the wall.
That's exactly what happened, Tom. Go on board, you hear it as soon as he goes into turn 3. The car starts sputtering and just takes off to the right on him.
Tough break for Ken Short. That race was his to lose as these laps were winding down to about 2 left. Looks like he's brought his car to the hauler, and his night will be done with that.
Four laps to go. Looks like we only have 5 cars left in this feature race, Tom. Looks like we've got Marsh out front. Right behind him, you've got Bobby Morrison, Torrin Schertz, Kyle Voringer, and Dylan Thomas are your 5 cars left in the field.
Well, let's see if these guys have anything for Travis Marsh. He's been running up there pretty solid all night long towards the front.
Morrison's been pretty quick, but I just don't know if he has anything for Marsh. Green flag's
he might
out.
have something for him, but in order to get by him, he's going to have to put the bumper to him, because there's literally one line on this track to be able to race with and make any kind of a pass, and everybody's using the same spot. So you're going to have to occupy the same real estate as he is, and I don't see any other way to get by Marsh right now. He's able to protect that lead pretty easily running through 3 and 4.
Morrison stays right with him, though, Tom. I mean, Marsh doesn't really have a big advantage. Morrison looks down low, Marsh up high. That's going to allow Marsh to pull away a little bit. Oh, no. Marsh slips, as does Morrison. So they're still about dead even, coming to 2 to go this time by. See if Morrison has anything for him. He's right on the tail of the car. Marsh gets a good run off the turn 2, pulls away by about 4 car lengths now. Morrison tries to draw a bead down into 3 and 4. White flag this time by. Morrison right there through 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, Marsh pulls away by about 2 car lengths. Morrison drives in deep. Travis Marsh will pull it off, though. Morrison can't do anything with him.
One heck of a run and recovery by Morrison, falling back towards almost all the way to the back of the field earlier in tonight. He got in a little trouble earlier, but he's able to run his way all the way back up to second and finish on the podium. Pretty solid run from him last night, but how about that number 2 of Travis Marsh? One heck of a drive for him tonight to come away with this feature win here at Volusia Speedway Park.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have had anything for Ken Short in the 28 if Short hadn't run out of fuel there. But
can you handle the...
Yeah, Ken Short had the dominant car there towards the end of the run and ran out of fuel with about 8 or 10 laps to go, and Travis Marsh took advantage of it. Travis Marsh, you're winner of the UMP Modified race. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good.
How'd that track turn out? I mean, we were doing the broadcast, and it seemed like it turned into pretty much a one-groove track most of the way around. You were feeling around there when the 28 car was leading and just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, it pretty well stayed locked on the top. I could roll the bottom when there was a whole bunch of traffic for them to bottleneck each other around the top, but once I got to second or third, I had to run the top cinch up out of line. There wasn't much you could do. And once Ken had got the lead, I think it was Greg got in the wall and got us all together. It actually bent my right front. That's why I was all over the place having to search, because I was I had to turn the wheel probably left like 90 degrees just to go straight. It was bent up so bad, but I wasn't pitting and going to the tail.
Yeah, we were watching. We saw you make contact a couple times. You got caught up in a few incidents there, and we were wondering how much damage you actually had from any of those. Now, did you have anything for Ken if he hadn't run out of fuel there?
No, after I got bent, no. He was driving off from me. That was just all I could do to stay off the wall. I was sitting there praying he'd run out.
Well, good job, man. Anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors?
Thank all my guys over at Headhunter Motorsports. Congrats to my teammate Bobby on second, and thanks for him painting all my skins and stuff. And that's it.
Well, congratulations, man. Awesome run tonight, and look forward to seeing you in more races here to come.
Thank you.
That's Travis Marsh, winner of your UMP Modified race here with the Dirt Series. Excellent racing here tonight. Late model race and the UMP Modified race, both very, very good races. Michael Haman, 2 in a row for him. Corey Whitworth looked to have a pretty fast car, and I guess maybe he was just a little light on fuel, so he had to pit for some fuel and cost him the win. And Travis Marsh ended up taking advantage of another car running out of fuel when Ken Short, the 28, ran out of fuel under 10 to go. So, you know, Marsh, sometimes that's what it takes is bad luck by other people. Going to bring Bobby Morrison in, I believe, see if we can get an interview with him. Second place finisher tonight, Bobby Morrison. Bobby, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Good comeback there, man. You got caught up in a couple incidents and drove back and finished second.
Oh, man. That was, I don't know. I felt like it was pretty good at the beginning, and then I was picking them off, and then, I don't know, one thing after another, get caught up. And biggest thing, I think, is I wind up wrecking myself, trying not to wreck somebody else, you know?
Yeah, I saw that happen a couple times with quite a few cars, just different lines being run towards the beginning of the race and even towards the end, people feeling around trying to find things. How much did the track change to you? I mean, to us, what we saw was that it turned into a one-lane track at the end. Is that what you felt?
Yeah, you couldn't get anything up off the bottom, but it was pretty much top dom.
Well, congratulations on the good comeback. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'd like to thank just all my dudes over at Headhunter Motorsports. Travis Marsh, my teammate. Congrats to him. Just appreciate you guys putting this on and running one heck of a show.
Well, thanks again, man, and look forward to seeing you run some more here coming up.
I sure appreciate it, fellas.
Bobby Morrison, finished second place finisher in tonight's UMP modified race.
Well, folks, thank you for joining us on No Brakes TV tonight in the New Era Bash race number 3 from Volusia Speedway Park, presented by No Brakes Television Motors and Understeer Motorsports. So big thanks out and shout out to Understeer Motorsports for being on board as always. Got to see 2 exciting races out there tonight, both the modifieds and the late models running their features. It was a little blast to call the race for these guys with Phil Ellis up in the booth. Also want to say a big thanks to Tom Jenks for running the cameras and doing the production for us. And these boys here at Dirt Series Invite iRacing Series, they put on one heck of a show every week, week in, week out. With that, we are going to sign off tonight. Hopefully to pick you up on Wednesday. We'll be doing a broadcast for the MIRL if they are not off. If not, then it will be next week. Next Monday, we'll be back with the New Era Bash. So have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. We're signing off here from Volusia Speedway Park. Have a great evening, and thanks for tuning in.